Akal. Akal. Breathe. And inhale. And exhale. Good. Okay. So this is really what do we call apropos for what is happening for today. So we have enough people that we need. Are they still coming?
I don't know who's coming or who isn't. You want to just begin? Or do you want to wait?
No, let's start now.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to tune
So,
in? I don't think we did Om Namo Gurudev Namo.
No, we need to do that now. And
Okay.
inhale.
Gurudev Namo. Akre name,
Siri
Sri
Gurudev
Gurudev name,
Adkare Name
Akre name,
Atkare
Akre name, Sri Gurudev name,
Adkare Name Jugatkare
Akre name, Sri Gurudev name.
One deep breath, heart breath, and continue. And continue for heart breath because Japa Saraswati is going to read the messages for our our message, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just put it in the chat. So if anybody wants to open the chat to read along, you can see it says, if you need to leave our session early, please let us know beforehand. For the meditation, as you remember, we learned that during the times, Yogi Bhajan said that 1/3 of the people would be dead, 1/3 would be crazy, and 1/3 of the people would be the light workers or keeping together. I pray that you would be light workers. Now, please help heal as light, help heal. Now, please help heal you as light workers, will you? help heal another person or persons to move through their transformation, dying, help heal for people being crazy, such as in denial, drugs, alcohol, mental non-health. Please listen from Baba Siri Chand for your answers. 1 minute for heart pumping and 5 minutes for heart breath. And then we'll share. Does anybody have questions or do you have to leave early? Do we all understand?
Yep.
Is Ved Bachan?
She's here.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay. So now, uh, begin 1 minute. Is it jumping heart? And begin. And continue heart breath. Inhale. Exhale. And now, if you need to or want to, now you can make notes. And now, do we have City?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sud City is here.
Okay. Okay, so does everybody have your understanding, your answers?
Yes.
Okay, so now, Aagia Pal.
So I asked, by the way, this last 5 minutes was a very sacred space for me. I just felt we all went deeper than we have ever gone before. Anyway, just wanted to comment.
Thank you. Maybe we'll always do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, the 5 minutes was good. So I asked, I said to Baba, I have been grieving like nobody's business. And, all I want to do is cry and, and just, really, just anyway, tormented, like, so I said this to him and so there was a lot for him to say. He says, first of all, yeah, he was kind of in teacher mode, and he said, that the Dalai Lama has said that when everything seems to be collapsing on you and going wrong, and just everything is not good, what it means is that there's room, so Guru is making room for something new to be born. And so I just sat there with that, something new and is being born. So I said to him, I feel what you just said now makes me feel like I'm a midwife. This is how I am a light worker, because I'm a midwife. I can be a midwife for what is being born. And Baba just looked at me and said, if you're a midwife, you have to have patience, patience, patience.
Mhm.
And then I was reminded of Yogi Bhajan, patience pays, let the hand of God work for you. So so it was it's just what I needed. And it's not like a patient. So patience, right, comes from the Latin word to suffer. And so, patience doesn't come easily from me. And however, I feel that the sort of, what's the word, like the what he said for me to do is like, fine, you can be a midwife for what's coming, but you must be patient. And whatever is coming, you must allow it to come in its own time. So, and then he says, you know, in the 2 trillion galaxies that are observable by us, he says, all of your cosmic brethren are accessible, can come, can be here with you. And Baba says, I am here with you. I am your rock. Don't forget that. And I come to you through all of the people that are around you. And so he says, be love. He said, just be love. And know that, I can, he is my rock. And coming to me through all my loved ones and and friends and so forth, very actively now, as well as the cosmic angels. And so, it's like a big time. And for them to, and I said 2 trillion observable galaxies, it just blew myself away, just thinking of, you can't think of it. It's just like feeling it. And so that was the heart of what I was told. Again, to be a light worker for me is for me to have patience, to allow, and and to pay attention, because attention is the precursor to devotion, which Mary Oliver says, and I think that's very true. And then allow all allow Baba to be there, my rock, through everyone that's around me. And I said, well, what about Rachel Maddow? Look at, she's unbelievable. She's down there in Texas. And so he said, that's great. Yeah. And he smiled, but he said, just be love. And that's where he left it for me.
Mm-hmm. Great. So that's also for dying people, or being dead, and also for those other things. What were they?
Yeah, for
what are,
just be love for everyone that I meet, everyone that I work with, everyone who's transitioning, um, everyone who is a part of this birthing process, because there's no difference, he says. The transitioning is all a part of this circle of birthing, transitioning, and birthing. And so, a death doula, so being, whatever. And he says that what I'm learning now is how strong I can be. And, I feel not so strong a lot. And he said, this, what you're being taught now, is to bolster your strength, and to self-confidence, and recognize your strength, because you're going to have, you need to use this, and rely on me, and be love.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
I know, that's what I say.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay. Okay, Gian Das Prem.
Satnam.
Hi. Stop down.
Hmm. It is apropos, and for me, with the times and the way the groups of people and coming into the light. For me, as a light worker, it's the witnessing of that, being with somebody. For me, it was my family members leaving and my going to funerals, and then it moved into a more of a personal situation through hospice. So being able to experience a person leaving and being with the known fact that they will be leaving within a certain amount of time, and that the way of communication sort of opens up for us to move beyond the labels. And what I'm seeing is the agreement between the flower and the rock, and the communication between that seed and the item that it's going to put a foundation there, a cornerstone for its life, for its cycle. And when we noticed that cycle and we actually experienced emotions and the physical aspects of seeing a loved one take their last breath, and then we're there as a witness through the process, or maybe just sometimes we're left with the end to ponder on for a while. And we're all at different cycles here, right? So when we're healing each other in these ways, what do we call them? Either sequences is the word I was using last week, because I look at the species of life here on the planet, and I'm just noticing how these different things affect them. In the evolvement, the human species is the one that is going to mostly look at at this list: denial, drugs, alcohol, mental health. I could add, war, and I could add money to that, and that's okay, because that's part of my thing that I've experienced through all of these things on the list. Of basically, they come down to choices of products that we have, and then that's my opinion too. So when we look at the light, at how it supplies life through a species, and we come into our body and we notice our species, we have a history. So for me, for this week, and for noticing the loss through the power of the earth and the loss of communication, that somehow can help us move around these situations, that the communication of that, sometimes knowing where to go at what time of year, or being able to watch the weather. And now we have these devices that are able to tell us, and it seems that we've lost some of the communication. So for me, it's just really going in deep to that, familial thing, of the body is it doesn't lie, in a sense. So going through those emotions and practicing that prayer and being able to come back to that kind-hearted way is, yeah. And for me, it's like sitting around a fire with people and, just maybe sitting silent and listening to the fire. Last week I lit a candle, and doing a lot of deep prayer, a lot of looking inside, and then sort of stepping outside to look at myself from beyond, and where will I be after this? How will I leave here? And how will the people that are here deal with my leaving, and sort of looking at that way of the loss of the life, and that can come when we're in prayer. Sometimes I was there, I went into church, I went to a couple of places, I sat with the trees and practicing heart breath and heart pumping. And, sometimes when you're deep in prayer and you're going through, the mind works its way, right? And when you can feel that pain of loss and the depth of the sorrow within that loss of being the witness, we can come to our way of speaking that in our evolution, we can come to this clearer communication. And I think for me, it's been deep and personal in the way of, releasing more, some of that negativity that I had within that opinion, and still ongoing with the daily practice of sort of walking in prayer.
Okay, excuse me. Tell me how you're going to release. Would you tell me that?
Well, this week, I was sitting there praying, doing heart breath, and it was starting with the pumping of the heart and heart breath. And when we pray and we understand the information of the loss of some of our people that may be unnecessary, there is a deep sadness that comes with that understanding of being a witness. Myself, I've had many traumas. I broke my neck in 4 places. Okay, you get a chance to see out of the body, and then when we do yoga, we challenge our breath. That gives us some feeling sometimes of that, almost like having the wind knocked out of you. I don't know what your experiences are. I've fallen down a lot in some uncomfortable places, so that's back to the body doesn't lie. So I think when we can breathe deep enough into that way of understanding of the cycle, it's sort of it's an actual thing for me
Mm-hmm.
with that part of life. Yeah.
So that means maybe that you're talking about pumping, heart pumping, and heart breath. Is that right?
Well, sometimes when we're deep in prayer and we get to these places,
Mm-hmm. Good.
you got to start crying. You got to go with it. That's what I do. I test myself. I can walk through, being that light being is there, sort of walking you through all of that ways, all of that sort of, to be where we are, we can handle it, right? But sometimes when we're crying, our heart medically grows more when we cry than at any other time, because is it that we don't do it enough, or is it the way that it gives us that sort of truth, that understanding of, yeah, it was uncomfortable for them.
Mm-hmm.
And nature is really loud, and we haven't heard it as much as we have in the past. The billions of years here, right? The billions of life cycles just above water, just above water. And we're made mostly of water. So that, and a third, and a third leaves the 1%. So, or the 0.09 or what have you, that allows that possibility to exist of something that, is galactically advancing and moving in these ways, that we are here as part of an evolution. So as humans, we have such this big responsibility. Are we using it for our inherent way of being able to heal each other, right? We have these ways of medicine and knowledge that we can share. And if we start with the breath of just, right, because there's a challenge. Every day when we get up, I'm trying to clear that negativity of that mucus of some of what I'm taking in through the air, and also what any negativity that I may be bringing in through the actions of others, and the way of force, of how force can work. through the ego. And nature will always be much louder than the ego, and there is a galactic force that allows all of these planets to move, and the orbits, right? The millions of orbits and all of their ways of beings. And, how are we going to dive into all that? That's 96% of the 4% that we think we know. So, and that's just my opinion too. And why Guru to that the voice, and for me today, it's alternate nostril breathing. Because
Wonderful.
the body just right, it switches sides every so many minutes, right? So it's a physical thing that we know scientifically, and that if we practice that, we can find a way of, clearing that. The toxins will come out through the mucus, and we can see it when we put it down on the tissue. So yeah, why Guru?
Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siri Gian. I love you.
Oh, and I love you. All of them. All of you.
Love you both.
Thank you so
Exactly. All of us.
much.
We're doing it together. Okay. Ved Bachan, how about you?
Satnam.
Saddam.
So the first thing that was coming was similar to what Aagia Pal was sharing, was through being a full spectrum doula to the self, through soul. So soul is the doula as we transform, update, and upgrade into new and different forms. Soul and the divine creates space for us, this space of love. And when we allow ourselves to go through these deaths and rebirths, then we're able to create that space for others and be with others, with our soul and their soul and the divine. And the phrases from this one particular, like Yogi Bhajan's voice, were coming when he said, let go, heal, heal. Let thy soul be awakened. Let thy soul be awakened. Let the lotus feet of the Guru be in your heart. Let the lotus feet of the Guru be in your heart. So that was coming through.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And then laying in the lap of the mother, so laying in and with Mother Earth, listening, slowing down, resting, hugs, smiles, and love. Being strong in your practice, and letting it change and transform if it needs from day to day, but committing to one thing a day. And playing and being silly, laughing, swimming and drinking the natural water from the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Heart breath and active listening. Breathing the whole body. So breathing the whole skeleton, letting the bones actually expand with the breath. Spending time with the animals, plants, stars, moon, sun, elements and directions. Letting feelings flow. Making space and including all that arises. Peace Lagoon, that album, has been really coming through in the last week or so, and has been supporting me through a lot of deep grief. So just having that playing has been helpful. Opening to grace, celebrating life and honoring death, transformation, welcoming rebirth. The end is the beginning. Give what's being asked through soul and other souls, through seeing, feeling, and sensing. The other message that's been coming is grief is love. So grief is a humble bow and an acknowledgement of what was. And the cells are vibrating and moving, and the waters of our being are in movement through that grief. And as we relax and allow it, the space that comes after the movement it's making space for more love and more joy, and more grace. And then the self-care, really important, consistent rest, nutrient dense foods, nature, movement, sweating, relaxation, thanking the ancestors, honoring the land, invoking the directions, creating ceremony space for self and others. And Ramadasa was also coming through as a mantra to sing, chant, and play. So yeah, a lot of really, really beautiful wisdom and information coming through with this question and this invocation. And the other last piece I wanted to share is this has been like happening since we've included heart pumping. I've just been like doing it, but I guess I'll just share it's like how I'm being guided is to also move my head left to right. So it's like while we're doing heart pumping, in combination with that rhythm, my head is moving left to right, and it feels like it's opening my throat and my cranium in a way that's allowing also the supporting the heart energy to move up and through. So I thought I would just mention it. At first I was like, this is kind of different, but the more that I have done it, it feels supportive. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So,
You're welcome.
yeah, please be sure to listen for our recording and also let other people hear that as well. Okay?
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Okay. That's City. How about you?
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
And I've been missing in action for two reasons. One was
Yeah.
my sister Honora's daughter and my niece was getting married, and I've got this enormous family. And my niece went to school in upstate New York, so she worked on a flower farm right near the art designated SUNY school, which was in this town, and the farm was Philly's farm because people from Philadelphia went there and started this huge flower farm. And I was in charge, so that was an interruption in my routine. But more importantly, well, I say more impactful in a sense was I was on medications that basically I learned from doing research literally blocked the transition of immediate experience, like in the present, into either short-term or long-term memory. So I had for the last month, 40 days, I think, I was just calculating the time, without any memory of anything.
Really? Oh my
It,
goodness.
it was initially scary as hell
I
and
bet so.
devastatingly scary. And I had to totally trust soul for everything because I had to travel. And I did
Oh my
get
goodness.
lost traveling.
Mhm.
And I was supposed to be headed to Poughkeepsie
Oh, jeepers.
for Birmingham to get to this wedding. So I had to be on the phone with my sister while this was going on because she's like, you're in charge of all the flowers. We're at a flower farm. You have to get here.
Oh my God.
So she like, okay, you're in Penn Station now. You got to
Oh,
get the
really?
Amtrak up to Poughkeepsie. And we'll come and
Oh
get
my
you.
God.
So it was
Good
only,
for dear.
well, it was only in this, thank God for connecting with you today because I got the reason why it was all happening. That happened. It was really scary. And I had a very difficult time getting back to
Wow.
here. Anyway, but I had to go stay in a hotel, which I ended up in a kind of rough neighborhood in Poughkeepsie because of the train arrangements. And then, of course, I had to keep bugging the poor lady who sold me the ticket to remind me what train I was getting on.
Mhm.
Insane. So luckily, a good friend of mine picked me up when I finally got to Framingham and dropped me off where I lived. So why the hell was all this happening? Like, God, Guru, what? I can't live like this. But anyway, we had a beautiful wedding, and it was so gorgeous and healing to see this next generation stepping up, getting married, honoring those traditions, because a lot of times they just live together and they don't, whatever. It's just that power of marriage, even as a metaphor, that, we marry the Guru, God and Guru, right? Even the metaphor of marriage is so spiritually powerful. So anyway, I was able to pick the flowers and assemble 30 bridal like arrangements, the men's boutonnieres and all the gals. There's a whole bunch of bridesmaids because my family's big and you can't offend anybody by not including them in the bridal party. So, and what was nice is the bridesmaids and other people came and said, oh, we loved what you did because every arrangement was different. Of course, I couldn't remember what the goal was, what the pictures were supposed to be. I just responded in the moment. Okay, here's the flowers I have. Here's what we're going to do. And they were all different. They said, we loved that we got to choose the one that felt resonated most with us. And the wedding was wonderful. And then I had this kind of horrifying time in Poughkeepsie. Oh, I hear noise in the background. Is that my phone? Hello?
Say it,
Did I
say
lose?
it again. I'm sorry. I'm keep talking.
Oh, okay, sure.
Say
Okay. So I got back.
just the last part.
The last part was everything, even without any memory, especially like of the templates that my niece wanted for the bridal flowers. It was like being released into this soul kind of creativity because I had no memory of what you wanted. But it turned out great because everyone was different.
Oh
Every
my
flower
God.
arrangement was different. And it was like a total of like 60 of them. So anyway, that was great. And I still had no memory and didn't really know why. And a scary night in Poughkeepsie because I was in kind of a bad place and I had to figure out how to get to the train station and all that. So anyway, when I got back
Didn't the
here,
doctor tell you
yeah, it's like the
about,
medicine, the doctor finally, what I did is
what
the
about the
doctor
doctor? What,
kept denying my symptom. And it's a female. She's a Haitian psychiatrist. And she said, this doesn't happen. It's nothing to do with the medicine. I said, I've just found all the research. It says memory loss, the transfer of memory from short-term to long-term is obliterated by this drug. And she just refused to believe it. So I fired her and just took myself off everything,
thank God.
which is supposedly a terrible thing to do, but I'm fine. I took myself off everything. And then today, it's the first time I've really had direct, here's what I got from listening to soul. God, you must remember you are a warrior and not a wimp. Let go
Wow.
of the past.
Oh my God. Keep up. Keep going.
Go back to the ashram in Millis. hunker down and support helping the ashram to become the lighthouse it must become.
Oh my God.
You have 1 year to establish the finances to afford to being able to live there. Work
Wow.
directly with Jot Singh and Harbhajan Kaur. This is
Really?
create a short-term and long-term goals. Immediately start a yoga. What was that? Immediately start. Start immediately. Go back to teaching yoga on a weekly basis. Go ahead and complete the certificate for as a recovery specialist, that's going to be paid for by the state of Massachusetts, because that will be the best cover for bringing Kundalini yoga to the people who need it most. And then
Oh my dear. Yeah, go ahead.
build a deep and vibrant relationship with the two ashrams in New England. That means marry. There are the two communities must be married if they are going to survive. So that means Peterborough, which is a very young people's ashram, not very far away. I think it's about 2.5 hours away from the Millis ashram
What
in New
state
Hampshire.
is it? What state?
It's I'm in Massachusetts, and they're in Peterborough, New Hampshire, which isn't very far away. But
Oh, okay.
that ashram has attracted all the young people, and we are sort of here in Millis Senior,
Okay.
the senior care unit. It's
Okay.
everybody's much older, and young people come and they don't stay. So I got really clear instructions. Your goal, you need to be in that ashram within a year and build a deep and vibrant relationship between the yogis and yoginis in both ashrams for them to survive. And
Amazing.
so that's it. Just laid it all out. And now that I've been off the drugs, I've been away from this meeting. I was looking at the dates, like almost a month. So my memory's not totally back, but it's way infinitely better than the state I was in. And my family was very understanding, and I ended up like being in these really formal family pictures. I was wearing a cowboy hat. It's like, what the hell was I doing? It's just pretty insane. So I've been on a very deep spiritual yatra, and I'm so happy to be back with you guys. And
Oh my goodness.
so that's all I have to share. And thank you for your love and support, because I turned to you all when I was really scared. Like, I'm in someplace and I don't remember where I am, and it doesn't seem very safe. I have to get out of here, but how do I get out of here? Like, type of deal. So
Okay.
it's all good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this was really a true reality about what we were talking about. That message.
Really? Good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No memory. It's just in the moment now.
Okay, because you said stay with heart breath
And soul.
stay and soul, and that was it. Oh, and stay with Kundalini yoga, and
Yes.
also with those two ashrams together.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to add that.
Thank you so much. Okay, good. Thank you, all of you.
Yeah.
And also, all of us, remember for each of us, for every something every day, for heart breath, for all of us who stay, how do you say, how, okay, thank you. Okay, Harimandir.
Siri Gian, do you have a television or radio on in the background?
Say it again?
Do you have television on or radio in the background? There's a
No, I have, no, I didn't have internet, so I came here with phone. But now there are talking, so I'm, and also have a lot of rain right now. So I'm sorry about that.
okay. It sounds like there are other people talking around you. So
That's right.
okay. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe Dr. Saraswati, maybe.
Do you want me to mute
when
you?
I want, yes, please. And then
Okay.
just keep it. Okay,
Okay.
good.
I don't think you have to mute her. It's only when she's talking that it
Yes,
starts coming up.
Okay.
okay.
Anyway, I've been working on helping others, certainly paying attention to myself too. But with those that are on drugs, alcohol, have mental health issues, those are the ones that I am learning very slowly, unfortunately, that I have to set very clear boundaries, and that physically or monetarily helping takes away from what I have to do for the rest of people, for the family, for the obligations that I have. So I have a goddaughter in Red Lake, Minnesota, who has been on drugs the whole time, but she's been telling me how she got her GED and how she loves learning now, and how she's doing heart breath. And she was even on one of our calls at one point. But her mom wrote me and said, "Come on in. You are enabling her, because every time you send her some money, because they just had a huge storm there, and she said trees fell over her trailer, and so I was helping her get a new trailer, that kind of thing. None of that, nothing that she has told me has happened. So that was a big. Her mother has tried to tell me before, but my goddaughter is, it's more than lying. It's fabricating these wonderful stories of what she has done and accomplished, and been on recovery, and gone to taking the medication, and traveled 2 hours a day to have the medication given. Um, I can't think of the right word, starts with an R, but anyway. The other person is the best friend of my daughter's here in Juneau in elementary school, and is kind of okay when she's not drinking, but I cannot, she lived in my garage. She and her partner lived in my garage for a lot of the winter. And I can't have her, I can't have her anywhere. I can't have her do that. So has, she's living at the battered women's shelter called the Aware Shelter. And not telling them the truth that she has a good partner who's supporting her. He's trying to get her all the paperwork done so that she has Social Security, disability, um, all that. But she won't do it on her own. And when she doesn't have those support systems, um, she's just on the street.
Mm.
And he's determined not to let her just be on the street to his detriment. But right now, he's overnighting in our garage, and I'm going to have to tell him. I don't know what I'm going to tell him because he oversteps the boundaries in a new way each time. So I have another goddaughter in who's now moved from Anchorage to Las Vegas and had to leave her family when her marriage was coming apart. And she's now found a job, but she's struggling. But she's doing okay. And another good friend of my daughter's who's also I had helped. But I'm at the point of just saying, okay, I'm wiping out all debts, period. I don't have the time to manage them. And hopefully I won't take any others on.
Good. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, now I found them at the room with the pool. Okay, so they say with people with not sober, so but there are difficulties that they could help them at different times. But the problem is that that person would have to want that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. And so that has happened. I have seen that over and over again. Okay. Thank you so much. And also, send heart breath. We're going to just give just 1 minute. I'm sorry, but just begin heart breath now. Breathe. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. And what about pure love and healing from soul? Can you feel that? Harimandir?
Say that again.
Yes. How do you feel about, for you, keeping up heart trust and also feeling from soul for that direction with your goddaughter?
Um, the trouble that I've been having has been that they do want sobriety, they do want health at different times.
Mhm.
And I respond to them at that point. But for one of them, the wanting is a way to control me
Ah,
into believing her.
there you go.
Yeah.
Mhm. There you go.
But I think what Aagia Pal said was simply put our attention or our what's the word, activity on loving the people around us that we care about, and
Including the people that you don't have, uh, you can't, and including the people that you don't like. Okay, keep up.
yes, well, that goes into the denial folks,
Mhm. Mhm.
people in denial.
Mhm.
Yes, treating everyone with grace and kindness, and just allowing that to be enough.
Great. Okay. Thank you. You know, we're going, next week is going to be very similar. Okay. So keep up.
What is next week?
Very similar.
Ah, okay.
Mhm. Okay. So, is Japa Saraswati, have you taken the other people? Are you the only one now?
I think it's my turn.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Well, I just noticed how many similarities. Um, right before our call, I was on the phone with my friend Amy, who just moved to Florida, and her son has made friends with some other boys from school. He's 10 years old, so these boys are between 10 and 11 years old. And one little boy went and jumped off the dock at the end of her property into a pond, and he hurt his toe really badly at her house. He got a huge splinter and a gash on his toe, and she was sitting there doctoring the boy's foot. She was telling me, and he was really uncomfortable, and she said, "Well, just talk to me while I'm doing this," because she's sitting there digging with a needle the pieces of wood out of his foot. And he proceeds to tell her this story about how he's living in a motel, and his mother killed herself and his father killed himself, and now he's living with an aunt, and he's been passed from family member to family member and all of this stuff. fast forward a day or two, there's this other mom in their friend group comes and picks the boys up, and these are well-off people, I would say, and them really interacting with this boy who's in real poverty and really without, and and you know navigating that situation of both really wanting to help and also feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't Amy feels like she doesn't want the influence of this boy because he's really there's something that doesn't feel right to her. She doesn't want the influence of him in her house. And I just spent the last little bit sort of talking to her about this. And then when we started the meditation, the immediate message that I got from Baba Siri Chand is that yourself is the only one that you can really help. Like really, truly, you can. I learned this about in Florida, and Florida people. There was a girl that I'd been friends with from the cafe, and she was at risk of everything, and I realized that I could physically take her to the license office and get her a new license, that I could pay her fees for her, and that she was like dancing in the street, and her money was hanging out of her pocket, and she was going to lose her license again, and that would just be an exercise in me, chasing after and doing this for her. Um, and my lesson there was that we can only really give what we have in great abundance, and that it's not healthy for us to give that which we don't have in abundance, because it will set us back. It will take from our own supply. And so for the meditation, the
Did you hear that from Baba Siri Chand?
well, that was a lesson that I learned several years ago when I was dealing with Kayla, my barista, who was semi-homeless and had lost her license, and but then when we did the meditation today, um what I did was I just immediately started doing Ho'oponopono for myself and working on healing myself. I spent several minutes just really basking in this love light, and for myself, and what I heard was to be the lighthouse, that this was how I was going to reflect the light, that this was how I was going to be a light worker, was by shining my light, but that I have to shine it on myself, and that to do that I have to do deep compassion for myself. And then after a couple of minutes of this, I really looked at, I said, how can I really improve myself? Like, what do I need to do to heal myself? Like other things other than just this, deep compassion for myself. Are there physical things I need to do? And what I saw was that I need to make tweaks on how I spend my time and energy, and I also felt to attenuate, which means to make thinner, but also to extend. Um, and so I feel like I need to uh, show more directed focus on things. Um, I also got a couple of messages about feet, which I thought was interesting because Vade mentioned the feet of the guru, and I saw this image of being in the Gurdwara, and as you guys all probably know this, that you shouldn't put your feet toward the Guru when you're sitting in Gurdwara. And if you're new and you don't know this, or if you just forget because you forget where you are for a sec, some little old lady will come, and like a little old Indian lady sometimes will come and gently touch the bottom of your foot, like with her palm, to protect the guru from the sight of the bottom of your foot. But for me, I just really went into like that subtle body, and that the subtle body is thought to be like nine, just right right at the bottom of the feet. And that there was like this energetic exchange, but I really was meditating about that. And then the poem, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it to us all when I find a version. I did find one, but I'm trying to copy paste it, but its formatting is not good. So at the end of the call, I will send it to all of us. But it's the poem where it says the light is where the wound gets in. It's called Childhood Friends by Rumi, and he says, give the beautiful ones mirrors. Wait a minute. Give the beautiful ones mirrors and let them fall in love with themselves. That way they polish their souls and kindle remembering in others. I want to say it again because it's really important to me. But he says, give the beautiful ones mirrors and let them fall in love with themselves. That way they polish their souls and kindle remembering in others. And so, like, I was just basking in that love light for self. And then, like, when we were doing the heart breath with Harimandir, um, I started off doing heart breath and then I went into tapping, like EFT. So I was tapping on the points and saying like what I really said was, even though I feel betrayed, I fully and completely love, honor, and accept myself. Even though, and I was really talking about like these deep things that I feel were unhealed about me, and just tapping on them with this great love and compassion. And it just felt so flowing, so beautiful, and free flowing is just what I can say, like not stopped up, like that the places of being unhealed were feeling congested for me. And it just felt like it didn't even feel like so much a release. It just felt like, oh, here we go, like very beautiful, really beautiful. And I think that was my message.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
God
super
bless her.
beautiful. Super beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Isn't that amazing? Because thank God that Baba Siri Chand is helping us to figure how we're going through this path at every moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you, all of you. Okay. Now, let's see. Oh, Ved Bachan, can you please lead our song?
Yes. I would love
Thank
to
you.
rub the palms together. Take a deep inhale. And a full exhale. Inhale deeply to sing out. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All surround you. And of your light within you. Guide your way. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. Love you. Stay with soul. Stay with your Baba Siri Chand. Love you.
Thank you, everyone. Love to all.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Love you all.
Love you. Thank you.
Guys, Sat